everyone to our Surge 365 Mastermind call on Thursdays. We just love our call. We love our people who join us, and they can share with us what they're doing to make their business work, what we can do to help our business work, because that's what we're all about. We're all about being successful. We're all about making sure the things that we want come to pass. And you know what's so great about our business, and you all know this, we have all the tools that we need. We really do. We have all the tools that we need. What we have to do is use them. And really, the tools is the actual website that you're paying a monthly fee for. Because you don't have to sit back and wait for a presentation to come up or for the company to say, we have to do it this way. You can meet someone and just log on to your website and show them what you have. You can log on to your Travmanity travel site and show them what it is. You can log on to your membership and show them what it is. You could actually help them create a Vortex site and show them how to use the Vortex and how they'll save money. And then explain to them, well, you know, when you go on this site, whatever you save, I'm going to make 60%. How many people do you know that would love to go on this site, save money, and you can make 60%? It's not difficult. I think we get hung up on, we have to do it this way. No, all we have to do is share it. That's it. Just share it. You're talking to somebody and they say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. When are you going? Oh, you guys doing a family reunion? Oh man, I have a website that I love. It can help save you guys money, blah, blah, blah. Just start a conversation. And then that way you don't have to learn this slide after this slide after this slide. Now, once we have it and it's updated and, you know, we're doing it, sure, fine. You could show someone. But even with the compensation plan, you can actually go into your back office and it lays out the compensation plan. So if you have somebody who's, you know, really number savvy and likes to see all that, well, sure, show it to them. But my thing is, you want to see all that. You can see it work and you can see those checks start coming to your house. Just that simple. And like you said, if they're trying to show you another business, you can always ask the question, how do I make $1,000 with your company? That's one thing that you should know so fast, how to say and how to share it with somebody. Because when you ask the question, how do I make $1,000 with your company? It's going to be so many things you have to do, so many loops you have to go through, so many products you have to sell. And you want to be able to say you're 7 to 10, and that's how you're going to be building your business. So keep it simple when you're talking to people. I think if we remember to keep it simple and just talk to people about what we have, and you don't have to sit back and try to learn the presentation verbatim, every slide, what you should say on this slide, what you should say on that slide. See, the only thing that has been proven to be successful 100% of the time is when you're talking to somebody who's ready to get started. That person will definitely sign up with you. That is proven fact 100% of the time. When you're talking to somebody who's wanting to get started and want to start doing something, they are going to sign up 100% of the time. That's the only thing that's proven. And the only way you can do that is you can get out there and start talking to folks, showing them what you have, what you're excited about, what trip you're going on, what family reunion you're planning, and that's how it works. So I'm really excited about the fact that we have everything we need with our business. We don't have to try to show folks, oh, well, this person went on here and this person went on there. And then it's relationship too. When you meet somebody, you're either going to gel or you're not. And you know right away if this is something that it's going to work for us. If I have something that this person needs and they have the personality or the spirit or whatever you want to go with, the the aura, whatever you want to use, then I would want to work with them, because that's important too. If you meet somebody and you guys are not gelling, why do you want to push the fact that you have a travel business and let's work together? You don't even want to go out to lunch with them. So why would you want to actually go in business with them? So remember those things too, because when you meet somebody you're gelling with, you're having fun, you're laughing with them, now you can see yourself, hey, I can see myself going to the different conventions with this person, putting a group together with this person, and we could have so much fun. But if it's somebody that, just what they say, vex your spirit, when you see them, you don't want to work with them. And it's going to be hard. And like you said, like we know, when it takes a long time, it's like pulling teeth to get someone to see your business, to understand your business. That is exactly how it's going to be the whole time they're in your business. You are going to constantly have to get them rev up, constantly have to remind them of their goals, constantly have to remind them that you can be successful in this. I love a self-starter. I love a self-starter. I love someone who knows what they want and know how to go and get it. That person is just great to me, because now you're not going to sit around and wait for me to call you. I'm going to see your name pop up because you have signed people up. I'm going to see your name pop up because you're doing what you need to do in this business. You're going to call me maybe when you want me to do a three-way, or maybe when you want to have me answer a question that you cannot find the answer. So you looked and you can't find the answer, and it's like, well, okay, I can't find the answer. It's probably right there on the page. I don't see it. Let me call them and see where this is. And then we can go walk through it. Hey, let's go back to the back office and I'll show you exactly where it is. And so now when you hear it and when you see it and when you use it, you're going to be able to share it. So that's something that I learned from one of the motivational speakers that I like to listen to. And we all learn things differently. But when you learn something, to share it, you're going to learn it differently. So when you hear something and you're hearing it, to share it, you're going to be able to share it differently. You're going to be able to share it without a problem. I remember, Rick, we were talking the other day and you said something where you were listening to somebody or you read something where it said, if you can repeat it back to me, then you understand it and you can share it. So if I can explain something to you and you can repeat it back to me, then you have it. And you have learned it with the ears and the knowledge to now share it with somebody else. And when you're able to share with someone else, you got it. There is no doubt that you have it. You can share it. You can repeat it. It's just like telling a story. When you can tell a story because you heard it over and over again, well, now you know the story. It's just like a song. When you can sing a song over and over again, now you know the song. You know the lyrics to the song. So when you're listening and when you're learning and when you're trying to absorb knowledge, because I think we should all learn something new every time, every day, if you can, learn something new. It's so easy to do. We have such a wealth of knowledge everywhere. So even if you just click on a button, how to tie my shoe, you know how many different things are going to pop up on YouTube on how to tie your shoe? Or how do I teach a child how to tie their shoe? All these things are going to pop up showing you, the bunny ears. You could do the bunny ears, different songs you can use to teach them how to tie their shoes. Everything is going to pop up. And so even though I know you guys know how to tie your shoes, and a lot of us forget that, we'll just go to Velcro. It's like, I don't want to be bothered with that. I'll put this kid in Velcro, and then they just slap them off. So whatever it is, it's okay. But you can learn. I just wanted to use that example because you can learn anything you want to learn. And Rick and I are going back and forth. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. It's called the Mega Quest. And I call it like a viewfinder, those old viewfinders that you could look through and you could see well, that's real way old there, but you could slide the little, I guess it's called a film. That's way back. And then you can see it through the viewfinder. So that's how this Mega Quest looks like to me. You put it on your head and then you can exercise and it's like it's throwing balls at you and you can da. So we're going back and forth if we want to invest in this Mega Quest machine. And the thing about it, well, whatever you want to call it, it's like a camera glasses kind of thing. And you can see all these different things. And it's actually, to me, a small computer. It looks like a small computer that's on the headphone kind of thing. So I don't know. So we're going back and forth. So we're looking at all the different things that we have played around with. And so I don't know if you guys, well, you probably do. You all have kids. And when everybody was, the Atari came out, and then all the different games came out, and then you had the PlayStation versus the Xbox, and then the Xbox 2 would come out, and your kids would yell, gotta have that. And then the PlayStation 2 would come out, gotta have that. And so every Christmas, you're spending ridiculous amount of money to keep your kids up and going, and these little boxes that then they have to pay $50 for a game to play a game. Then they beat the game and they're bored and they want to get another game. So and you go on and on. I remember one year we had one. I don't remember if it was the Xbox or the PlayStation, because my kids went back and forth between them all. And we had where it allows you to play bowling. And so we would put it on. It had all these different games, and bowling was one that was fun. It was a fun family game, and you could stand there, and you had a little whatever in your hand, and you're bowling. And we were talking about that, how Rick's mom loved that, and she used that as a form of exercise. She would just come over to our house, and one of us, would set it up for her, and she would just be fine. It's like, leave me alone, I'm here, tell me what buttons do I push? And she would love coming over and beating her score each and every time. And it was such a simple thing to do, it was such an easy thing to do, and it allowed her to get her little exercise in, and she was very competitive. So it allowed her to get her scores up. And so that's what this little Mega Quest looks like to us, but it's more modern. Now it's to the point where you put it on your head, and that's what you look at. And then we had another one, I can't remember the name of it, where you could hook your phone on it, and then your phone would have the app that allows you to see different things. And of course, by that time, my kids were a little older, and so they found this haunted house, and why they wanted to scare themselves, I had no idea. But they would watch this one thing where it actually looked like you were in a haunted house, and clowns and different things would pop out and scare you. And they thought it was funny, and they would be on the floor trying to run away from this thing. And then they had another one where it looked like you were on a mountain way up high, climbing and looking down. And I say all that to say how things change on a constant, trying to keep up with technology. It's constantly changing. Rick and I just bought the iPhone 15, talking to my son, and he's like, Mom, they're coming out with an 18. I'm like, I don't care what they come out with. That is crazy. I'm going to stick with what I just bought. Supposed to be the last one, the more modern one. And now they're coming out. And I thought, that's so interesting. But technology is constantly going to change. And we have to understand. And so when I say technology is constantly changing, you do not feel like you have to get the latest and greatest device, of course, unless you have your kids driving you crazy, so you try to keep them happy. Or if you have to get this, get that, get this. You really don't. And what I love about our business, yes, our presentations change, but the whole concept stays the same. So when you go all the way back to Rick's mom playing bowling, that concept is still there. All you're doing is moving your arms and keeping up and working out and moving and being active, right? Even with the different games that you're playing, all you're doing is trying to figure out how to do this or get that or whatever the game has you do. And the same thing now with this Mega Quest, it's the same thing, just trying to figure out how many times you can punch the air to knock this out to win. You can do all of that on your own. You do not need a device to get it done. Did somebody want to share?
Yeah, Brenda,
Yes.
all you got to do is, just connect with Chantel. She's walking through the park. You can walk right with her, and you got her right there with you. I mean, I don't need no machine. I get to see her right in person any day I want, and I do.
That's good. And that's what I mean, Ron. You know, everybody thinks they have to have the latest and greatest. Even with our business, you know how the business works. So regardless of what new presentation comes out, regardless of what this is that, you know how the business works. It hasn't changed. It's still the same. The bottom line, it's all about travel. And when you look at all the different things that they have, it hasn't changed. It's still the same. And all it's doing is getting you moving.
Ron, I didn't know you were back yet. So Ron, I didn't know you were back. I thought you were still somewhere around the world.
Well, we were up in the Thousand Islands for, I'll just say, the week. Had an incredible, restful, I can't call it a vacation. Everywhere we went, every single day, there were people there. This is hard to believe. There were people there. And guess what? Some of them were right from our backyard. And here we are 5 hours away. We were in Canada.
Wow.
You know, I mean, there's all kinds of things.
Handing out business cards.
Handing out business cards, setting up people to connect them to, it's cool. It's what we do.
Wow.
I just want to remind you of something that I think one of our early conversations, and might even be before we got connected, Rick. You can't climb a fence leaning towards you. You can't kiss a girl leaning away from you, and you can't push a rope.
Can't.
So don't. It's like trying to teach a pig to sing. He's gonna get mad at you, and he don't want to. If you don't waste your time when people don't wanna. I know Christ. I think this is a pretty good authority. Christ told the disciples, if they don't want to hear your story, dust your sandals off and go to the next town. It's not that. It's not anger. It's not negative.
No.
Common sense. We just have to understand. You've told me I can't say since the day I met you, Rick Reese. In God's timing. You've said it once, you've said it a million times. In everything we do, it's always God's timing. People come into our lives. How did we meet? I mean, what's the likelihood? Here's a guy who's an officer in the Air Force. Here's a guy who done all this stuff. The only thing we had in common was maybe some plastic engineering. And that was it. But we knew a guy. We had a guy. We got a guy. And you know what? Out of that, Linda and I have traveled the world. Linda just got she's really excited.
This is funny.
We got this when we got home today.
I got my passport.
Oh my gosh.
Within 2 weeks. I had my picture taken at Walgreens, and it was horrible. I went to the post office to hand the paperwork in. The young girl said, "You cannot use that picture."
They had a picture of her hanging in it.
Shut up. She took my picture. She sent it in. I got it while we were on vacation. That was less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
So if anyone's saying, "Oh, passports take so long," well, at least for renewal, it is.
That's awesome. So Ron, you have yours?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rick.
You got yours, Ron?
No, mine's not renewed. Mine's good. We've had ours. Because I remember I promised Linda I'd take her to England.
No, yours has already been renewed.
Yeah, I've been renewed for a while. We couldn't wait. Hey, we couldn't wait to get
Hey,
back.
look at that! Wow.
I know a
can
guy
travel to
too.
2020,
I know a guy.
2034.
Look at that!
I know a guy.
$500,000.
Come on, we can do this.
Woo!
You know what? When we keep it simple, I know that guy right there, right? That's my business partner, my hubby. Right?
Hey.
When we keep this simple and when they can repeat, I heard what you said right there. Because people can be in your business for years and years and they're not hearing you. They're with you walking, but they're not understanding what you're saying.
That's right.
But when they get it, when they truly understand what that concept is, that we can go out here and touch lives, that we can help people win with a simple tool in our hand to say, you know what? You need an extra $500 next week. I got that. Let's have a conversation to see how this can work for you. Who do you know? Who do you know that has their hands up? Who do you know that's looking for some extra income? Don't make this thing too complicated. That bonus that came together is because we kept it simple. There are people that we are sharing this business with 10 years ago who just ran us down and got started in our business. Is anybody here? 10 years ago, they finally said, you know what? We've been watching you for a long time. You're having fun. I want to have fun too.
Wow.
Hey, I got my hands up right now because guess what? Now they're at the door of a shift called retirement. Hello.
That's good.
You just have to wait on the timing, just like Ron just talked about. You don't have to push nobody nowhere. You don't have to beat them down. You don't have to chase them down, but keep posting out here. Let people see that you're still active because they're like, you guys, we see you. You have never moved from that place. No, why would we, people? We're building a legacy here, a business legacy, a spirit-filled business legacy of generational, healthy, wealthy people and communities. Why would we put this down? For what?
Chantel?
Please
That's
tell
true.
me.
That's good.
Chantel, can I ask you a question? Chantel, can I ask you a question? It's Ron.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how to help somebody make $500 in 30 days?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, because you know how to do that, when somebody comes to you and they got an issue, you're talking from a position of authority. You have got, it's not just that you have words to say, you have conviction in your message. And when people understand the conviction in a message, they'll respond to it. That's all we can do is be there for people.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
And it is their need that is speaking. It's not my need. It's their need.
yeah,
They showed up because they had a need. Go ahead, Glenn.
Let me piggyback on that. The year was 1996, and we were at a major shift in 1996. That was the year that I retired from the United States Air Force and stepped right into a job with Intel Corporation, who had just built a brand new plant here in DuPont, Washington. And it's where I met a guy named Willie Tillman, who had also retired from the Air Force and also got on with Intel, and who also happens to have the same name as my grandfather, which caught my attention when I heard somebody call out to him, and I knew I had to meet him, who ultimately wound up introducing us to YTB, now Surge 365. But what Brenda was saying earlier, the experience we got at Intel for that season was we knew computers and we were building computers. And you know what? When you buy a device, it is already obsolete times 3. Times 3. And it's absolutely correct. You do not have to go out and get the newest, brightest gadget. They're counting on you doing that. We use our phones until they stop working for us. Then we even though we can write them off on our taxes, that technology is already obsolete by the time it's released, and they have the second and third generations already being put together. That's what we were doing. But to take advantage of the opportunities, you never know who you're going to meet, what they bring into the table. But that is our story about how we met at Intel in 1996. Back to you, Rick.
Wow, that is so true. You don't need the newest and the greatest. And I love how people are coming back around. You know, people who you guys have talked to years ago, and now they're at a point which is a different point in their life. So now it's almost like, okay, yeah, I want to hear what you're saying. What was you guys saying before? They're at a different point in their life. So that's another thing that's really good. If you think about it, you might share the business with someone and they might say no, but it might just be a no, not now. So that's why you don't want to burn any bridges. Just say, okay, cool, I can understand this is not for you right now, and maybe later, or, you know, maybe never, it doesn't matter. But you don't try to pressure someone because they run away from you. You want to be able to accept whatever is going on in their life, because that is so true. People go through different things. And so they might be going through a thing right now where they think they don't need it, but they really do. I mean, the tax write-off alone, everybody needs a home-based business just to get the tax write-off. And different things like that. And even if whatever situation you're in, you really need a home-based business. And even if you're a young adult and you're making good money and you're blah, 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 you're losing money on taxes. You can't write off your cell phone. You can't write off this. You can't write off a certain percentage of your mortgage. You can't there's so much you can't do. But if you had a home-based business, you can. And you would find that you're doing more savings that way than not. So if you're spending $1,200 a year to keep your business active, you could be saving $5,000, $10,000 alone on taxes. So it's all how you look at things. And even though it might not be time for people now, you have no idea what's going to change in their life to make it where it is time. You might have the young mom working now saying, no, I'm good, just got married. No, we're good, we're enjoying life, traveling. And now all of a sudden she's a young mom saying, I don't want to leave the house. Go ahead, somebody want to share?
Well, I was going to say we're visionaries, and so we're out in the future, and we've been placed that out in the future, and we're watching, people, and people are watching us as we go and as we grow, and but we know something that light hasn't come on for them yet, and that is your job has a shelf life. That your job is either going to let you go, you're going to let them go, or something. Give it 5 years, give it 10 years, whatever time period. Like you said, every person is different. And but we're out in the future creating something. That's why you can't get caught up on people. You want to create the life that you want to live. But like you say, Brenda, you want to always be learning. Always be learning. We're down here in Charleston.
Yes.
I was talking earlier today to a gentleman that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida, where a lot of wealthy people live. And he works with them to help them, manage their finances and different things. And he works with wealthy people around the world. And he's helping us in this other thing that we're doing. And I woke up this morning, I said,
But
I need to...
Rick,
Huh?
you're absolutely correct that I was talking about that job at Intel. Well, guess what? Technology phased that out real quick, and the pricing on the market, because the Koreans came out with a sub $300 desktop or whatever, and we were building high-end servers and what have you. And so as fast as they ramped up, the Intel plant here, they were handing out pink slips a few
Wow.
later. And guess what? They took all of our jobs and sent them to Malaysia, Indonesia,
Wow.
and Costa Rica. And guess what? Everybody was out of a job. So you cannot depend on, there were people that chased those jobs up here, and they had chased them before. But, you know, when that global market thing came open, they never intended on supplying your dreams. You were working to supply theirs. Back to you, Rick.
It's true. It's
Wow.
true.
When your season's over, they'll toss you to the side. That's considered good business practice.
Right, Ryan?
Well, Rick, 1986, Lynn and I moved back to Buffalo, and we had a lot of new friends because we used to live in Jamestown, 100 miles away. And one of the friends that we met and kind of hung out with, he was a salesman for a computer company. You might remember Wang was
Oh,
the
yeah.
largest mainframe. They sold the big room-sized computers. Now that year, Paul had sold to a telephone company called Altel. I don't know if it still exists, but anyways, he sold them a mainframe computer here in Buffalo, Jamestown, and it used their East Coast operations for phone switching. Anyway, so his bonus was based in stock. By the time he got the stock in his hands, the father of owner of Wang died. The board didn't like the son, who was supposed to take over the company. So Paul had just bought a $300,000 home, brand new building. He had a 64-foot Chris Craft steel hulled boat ship that he had completely remodeled, redone. I mean, thousands on it. And in 1 year, he had nothing.
Wow.
Now, that was when my eyes were opened. My dad had passed away, and they sent him a telegram to tell him they wouldn't let my mom take it from the company that he didn't have a job, and he died. That year and those things changed my perspective to understanding that a corporation, there ain't no there's no loyalty, there's no, boy, you did a great job, Howard. And he gave his life and he did everything. Got up. I used to take him to work at 6 a.m. so he'd get there early. And he was in accounting. He wasn't an accountant, he was in accounting, but he lost that job. And my mom was destitute because you were so young family. I had 2 sisters. Those things opened my eyes up early that I had to be and do something different. A lot of young people are learning today they can't even get into the corporation.
True.
They were in the corporation, but now they can't even get in. And so we're in such a huge position, the opportunity, the lifestyle, to have the freedom to just be a part of this team is such a huge God-sent privilege.
Amen.
Every one of you fill our lives. I'm telling you, we couldn't wait to get back here to share with you today that we had the blessings when we take a vacation, only a few days, we can go and truly know everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
That's good.
We've faced health issues. We've faced all kinds of issues, family issues, all stuff. But because we have you and the team and our faith to cling to, we live a life that's extremely peaceful.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're
As
all
leaders, Rick, you and Brenda have provided to so many people, and we see it when we go out, when we've been at different countries and we're hanging out, we just sit back and watch. And people, every time they step into the community, the discussion you're on, or you step into the one they're doing, there's a sense of peace that is
Amen.
represented there. That is it's attractive. It's like
Amen.
you are the Pied Piper guy, and Brenda, you are. And that's why there's all these people on this call today that are so blessed that we have this connection, and we need to spread it. What was being said on the beginning when Brenda started out talking, people need what we have. Let's just be there for them. Let's step up to the plate. Let's answer, even when it's not convenient. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember one time that anybody that we've ever met that's part of our lives, other than the immediate family, they got to be your friends. I can't think of anybody that there wasn't probably something inconvenient, either in the start up the relationship, where we were at, the distance between us. There was always something that if you wanted to have an excuse, it was there. You know, Linda, when we got started, Rick, you didn't know Linda had shingles. That day, she had just come from the doctors and they'd given her the wrong prescriptions, and that wasn't helping her. It was making her sicker. And we wanted to get started. I mean, we wanted to get going. I mean, we had already known about going to Europe, going to Viking River Cruise. And then you gave us the key to go. Come on, let's go. Well, we can't. She's sick and we can't even have anybody at the house. See, guys, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And I would say on every single person on this call, I am sure it may not have been the same circumstances, but the instance was there and it could go one way or the other. And we chose, well, we chose God. That's all I could say.
We chose.
We
That
chose.
is a big word.
We
Every day.
chose.
We get to choose all day long. We get to choose. We chose this right here, okay? Back in 2007, we
Wow.
chose this. This is one of the greatest tools our company has ever produced.
Mhm.
Still in my purse, Gina Alexander designer handbag with my wedding photo on it is where that sits. That is the greatest gift. Hello, somebody. See, we didn't throw our stuff in the trash. Look at
Right.
this.
That's right.
Come on, somebody.
Yes,
Wow.
Hey, I remember that.
These are tools, precious tools that still
Precious
will.
tools.
I can pull this out today and bring somebody into business
It's true.
right today. That is how powerful these tools are. Okay, I'm up
Let's
in
get
my
it right.
zone right now in my travel desk. Look at this.
Look at
Okay,
you.
yes. We have all these tools. It's all the
That's
same.
funny.
This right here was when we went to Punta Cana, baby. The aliens in Punta Cana. Is anybody in the room? See, we can have the tools. Are we using the tools? Are we enjoying the benefits of the tools? Because when Glenn and I get ready to do these taxes, we're not playing with that. We are going to write off some expenses, people. We are so serious about running this business as a business.
Right. It's true.
That's how we do it from day one. He used to have this notebook that is this thick, sitting in every vehicle we have ever owned on the front panel, and he would get in there and document that mileage. Every time we got in the car, every time we got out, he write it down every day for years. For years.
It's true.
Once we understood the tax benefits, we're like,
The
are you
tax
kidding me?
benefits.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
That has kept us here since March 7th of 2007. I kid you not. And
It's
when
true.
we talk to people and they catch that, we had a lady come into our company. She had already signed up because she was looking. Another one that had retired a year ago. And she said, I need some fun stuff. There you go, right there. But then she said, did I hear you say something about tax benefits? She did a double flip and went in here. This is a CPA by trade, people. Went in here, got out this spreadsheet, and I'm just looking at her like, oh boy.
Wow. Yeah,
Come
right.
on. And she had this stuff I didn't have to do. It took me about 30 minutes. She had downloaded everything before I even got to the conversation. She had the Hurler downloaded. She had that app downloaded, the Touch 365, and she was over here talking about, how can I book my family on a cruise? I said, well, number one, you have to take the first class training. And after your 30 days is completed, you will now be able to work with our travel suppliers. And that's what she did. She is so easy to work with. because she understood running a business before I got there.
Mhm.
She and her husband were already running businesses. They were already property owners. All this was already in favor for her.
Mhm.
So it was just a transition for her. She just added this over to her other, she created another folder and added this business over beside her other business. I said,
Wow.
are you kidding me? How simple is this? My other lady. No, nope, let's go over here to the family. Glenn, we get to we sign up. Look, this is how exciting this is. See, we get excited because we have experiences. Once our son and daughter signed up, paid their own $500, that dude ran out the house, he didn't go to his little crony, his friends. No. He went to his high school to talk to his teachers and his coaches. Is anybody here?
Mhm.
This was a young guy. Ran out the door. He knew how to put on a nice shirt, put on his tie, his nice slacks, and ran out the door and jumped in his car. He was gone. All right? Because we're building wealth with our family. That's why we are here. We wanted to have fun with our family. The next few people that came in is still sitting here. Right there. Her name is Deborah Smith. I'm just saying. We sat before her family. That's how you do it. We had the travel party like Juliet told us. We kept it simple. After that, guess what? We got on a plane and went home to Cleveland, Ohio, and Virginia. That's where our family is. Why? Because we're building legacy generations of wealth. Why would we not go to our family first? Guess what? We got home and guess some people in our family signed up with us. Are you kidding me? Everybody in my family, that's my brother and sister, is in my business except one, but he will be coming. I'm the second oldest, so I be pushing and shoving on people. See, some of y'all a little, you don't want to push on, but I will push on my people because you know what? Because you need this. What do you have that's giving you some tax benefits, people? How old? We are in our 60s, people. What are you waiting for? I'm just saying. Get it today. She's a little passionate, people.
So true, so true. The taxes alone. That's why you can't teach people until they're ready to learn. The taxes alone. Ron just went on a business trip. Ron and Linda just went on a business trip.
Yes, we did.
They accommodations, they ate well, they had great people that they met, great fun, fellowship, food. And it's a business.
Know what?
Uh-huh.
Another perk that's come out of this. Most of my life, my sister and brother-in-law, Lynn and I would deliberately not get together with them at holidays. We didn't, they had, what most people look at and call it, they had an ugly marriage. They had such treachery and just sadness, and it was, who wanted to be around them? But they kept begging us. They wanted to go on a cruise with us. And frankly, yeah, there were times that came and we went. But you know what? She was persistent, number one. She's my sister. And number two, there was an opportunity that we were going to help them to be able to, okay, my brother-in-law's got cancer. She's got MS. They started getting a few things together in their life. Who were we to not help put a little fuel on the fire? Well, now she was going around this whole week. She's been going around. Oh, they were with us on this trip. Everywhere we went, I didn't say a word. She started talking. She told people. She had this couple, 2 different restaurants. She's talking about the 5 cruises they've been on and what they're doing. Yeah, don't take kids. Don't take grandkids. Do this, do that. Yeah, you got to go here. You got to get on this ship. You got to go swim with the dolphins at Cozumel. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say a word. We're just sitting there watching this. And, to see the joy, we call them the lovebirds.
Wow.
Maybe a nickname. Their life. Go ahead, Linda.
David just called and said, oh, when do we need to have our deposit in for the May cruise?
Amazing.
And so they said they'll have it over to us this weekend.
Just know that you could have that kind of effect in somebody's life and they're close to you. I'm just telling you, you talk about the value of what we have and why we fight for having our freedom and fight for each other and fight to know that we need to help more people to be successful so that we can help more people be successful.
It's true. It's true. And being down here in Charleston, and the gentleman I was talking to earlier today, and he's connected to some major folks. He has a nonprofit organization and Harvard graduate, and he's doing some great things around the world and all the different things. And so I woke up this morning, I said, you know what? I need to tell him about the Vortex and the fundraising opportunity with the Vortex. And so I called him and we had a great conversation. People don't know what we know. You know, of course, you can't even teach them until they're ready to learn or to hear. But I was telling him how we use the membership for wholesale travel. And of course, we've got the concierge that we can use and travel wholesale instead of retail, write it off, get paid to go. And I was telling him about the travel agency and the career opportunities. He runs this company called Planet Startup, where they work with a lot of youth and helping them become entrepreneurs. And so I was telling him about the career opportunities, you know, with the travel agency and how I could take a homeless person, run them through Dress for Success, run them through how to interview, and then get them entered into, of course, the travel agent program with Travemanity, and get them the training that they need, Travel Agent University, Travel Agent Academy, Disney Travel Agent, Special Needs Travel, you know, and I could build a portfolio for that person, Hyatt specialist, Marriott specialist, luxury travel specialist. And of course, once they complete these trainings, they get a certificate of completion. So I could build this portfolio. So let's say there's a hiring event. This is what I was telling them. Let's say Hyatt is having a local hiring event. I could take that person with that portfolio, send them down to this hiring event, you know, previously homeless, right? Now they've got skills to pay the bills and get them a job. Disney travel agent, get them a job without spending thousands upon thousands of dollars going back to school. And so I was telling him about the vacation club. I was telling him about the travel agency. And then I said, and then we have the Vortex. So I was describing to him the Vortex, customer booking engine, globally, tap into a global money system with no restraints at all, no constraints at all. You can make as much money as you can build a group that will book on it, you know, loyalty to a group. He says, Rick, this would be great influencers. He said, they do whatever you tell them. I mean, so he's like just connected, had his brain just going. And I was just, yeah, the average money that average savings is $50. And I said, this is hands-free fundraising, revenue generation. And he was just like, wow. This is an older guy, totally connected, you know, into all kinds of different things. But we have a skill set. And when people come around, they'll come around. But we have a skill set that goes into so many different directions. Travel, all the different things, of course, access to travel, the tax savings, right? Career opportunities. I mean, so if you take the time and put the time in, and you could just do it really just by living, but being engaged and intentional in all the different areas. And like Glenn says, 10 years, you become an expert, you know, and we're just doing this time after time, not chasing people, but time after time, rehearsing it, using it ourselves, getting a story. You do this for 10 years, and we've been doing it, what, 20-something? Over 20 years we've been doing this. And so as I'm talking to him like I'm talking to you. Right? And he's like, well, you don't even realize how much you know until you're talking to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I know, Brenda, you had said this one time way back. The people that you meet don't know what you know. They don't even know a bit of what you know. We have to become confident in the thing that we know and that we can talk to people in a way that is our experience. So I come down here to Charleston thinking I'm just going to chill and get on cruises, work with Hope and Ron and things that we're doing. And all of a sudden, I'm building businesses. I'm sharing the Surge experience, the Travmanity experience. And you want to say, hey, you are lining yourself up to make a lot of money. If you look at this and you say, I'm going to become a specialist, an expert in these areas, the people will come to you. Like the people that came to the couple that came to Glenn and Chantel that have been watching them on Facebook, on social media. And then finally they get to the place in their life where it's like, Chantel and Glenn, you guys still doing that? Right. Yeah.
Breathing.
We are.
We're breathing. We're still breathing.
We're still breathing. This is what we do. Why would we do anything different? And so I was telling the guy, I says, yeah, this is what I do. I said, so the guy's name is Sam, who actually pulled me out and helped him to start a business. I said, yeah, Sam pulled me out of retirement. And so I said, I could be on a cruise. And he said, well, Rick, based on what you just told me, you could do that on a cruise too. Yeah, that's true. Back to you, Brenda.
Wear the shoes.
Gotta get it up. There you go. That is so true. And what I always tell people when you say we could do that too, every time we go on a cruise now, we get the internet package. So we're able to stay connected. We could still do our calls. We could still work our business, check the back office. We could do all of those things on a cruise. And when we were talking about how things have changed, I remember back in the day, and I think this might have been 2008. It might have, it had to have been about 2008. And everybody wasn't walking around with a phone literally in their hand or a laptop or an iPad. We just didn't, you had your big computer that you left home. But the ship was set up where it had a business room. And the business room, this ship that we were on at this time, I think it might have had, I'd say seven laptops, maybe 10, but, and they weren't laptops. They were the big, you guys remember the big computer with the big back?
Power.
And those huge ones. And so you had to, of course, pay to have time on those computers. And at that time, it was so fun because we would put it on our card, because, you put everything on your card and deal with it at the end of the cruise. And everybody was just logging on for the fun of it, just to see how much their team has grown since they got on the cruise ship. So everyone, I'm gonna go log in. They go log in, and in the morning, oh man, I had 15 people sign up in my business, and then by evening they'd line, oh man, I made a $5,000, I made a $10,000 bonus. Oh man, I made a $1,000 bonus. And it was so fun. And that was when top technology, of course, like I said, we still had that big dial-up computer, which I can remember my son pleading with me to get Bluetooth. And I was all, why? Doesn't that one work? What do you need Bluetooth for? And it's so funny when you look back at technology and how it's changed. And so now when we're on a cruise ship and we are sitting back and relaxing, you could have your laptop or your phone. You really don't even have to have an iPad or a laptop. You can have your phone, log on to your back office, and see how your numbers are growing.
Oh, yeah.
With your Surge 365 business.
I remember dial-up. I remember dial-up. I remember downloading, uploading, copying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
getting
I didn't even know
documents,
what a
If we want to tell
AOL.
you remember
What's
you
a pixel?
remember digital cards. What was those digital cards we used to use? You go way back then.
Oh, I remember dial-up. And so that's true. So
Yeah.
Brenda, I was talking to a lady yesterday, Aura, A-U-R-A. We call it AV. And she actually joined us just yesterday and in this other thing here. And she was saying, and she's a vet and suffers from PTSD. And she was saying, and she's starting a business. And she says, you know, the services and the need to learn how to be an entrepreneur is a big deal. Everybody on this call has experienced and has learned how to be an entrepreneur. And she was saying, you know, Rick, that is something that people out there are looking for because they just don't know. And but they want to do something. They want to start a business. They want to understand how to be an entrepreneur. And but who teaches you that? When you think about it, who actually teaches you that?
Yeah.
And that's a skill set that we all have. You know, not even talking about Surge, but as a skill set, you know, everybody on this call understands self-development and how we have been changed. You know, that's a skill set that we've all acquired beyond travel, beyond Surge, beyond anything, just life, you know, and how we've grown. So she was saying, Rick, even the things that you're just sharing with me, you know, where do you even find that? Where do you hear that? You know, Ron and Linda, what you did for your sister, Ron, you know, who would teach them that? You know, this is a skill set, a unique skill set that we all have, that we have acquired. What would be in a counseling session situation, Ron, what you did for your sister and her husband? How much would you have made as a psychologist in a
People
counseling
spend
session?
hundreds of dollars an hour to meet with a counselor, a marriage counselor.
A marriage
And
counselor.
when the bottom line is what the marriage counselors do is just getting people to be able to get into a setting where they can create some trust. And when they get some trust created, then they can grow. They can rely on. If you don't have trust in a relationship, the same things with helping someone in a business. A lot of times we think people don't want to do something because there's something wrong. We think there's something wrong, or they think there's something wrong with what it is we do. No, they have a low trust level.
Ooh,
Their
that's good.
level of trust to being relaxed enough to be able to share an idea without judgment and
That's
then
good.
act on it. And that's what you guys teach every single time there's a meeting, a call. You are all teaching people how to be God's representative because Christ walked this world and they were out to kill him. He still walked anyways. You know, the enemy doesn't want people to be successful. We all know that on this call. Every one of us knows that the aim of our enemy is to destroy people, destroy relationships, destroy lives. What we do is we create dreams, we create the environment that people can grow, like a greenhouse. We actually create a greenhouse so people can learn to trust, to take a little step. And when we demonstrate it through the transition of money going from one hand to another, from a business to a family, help them pay their rent, all of a sudden then they're going on a cruise and going to dance on the beach at midnight, dancing in the moonlight, because they stuck out their hand and took yours. And then you gave them your heart. See, when they have that kind of trust, they can overcome all the negatives that are in this world. That's what each and every one of you are doing every single day.
I like that. You know, that's something we can write down. We're helping people who have a low trust level, you know, to raise that level. And everyone receives, you know, that whole trust thing in their own way and in their own time. If you can become, you know, that person who can observe another person and interact with another person, communicate with another person, realizing that they're starting at a lower trust level than you, and see what do they need, that you may raise their trust. It may be them just watching you over time. It may be like you did, Ron, taking your sister and her husband on a cruise, and immediately you got their trust.
Oh, was that or overboard?
Oh, stop.
And so, but to be able to, that's a good place to start, realizing that people have a low trust level just in this society, in this life, in this world, in their families. And us, not as official psychologists, but understanding the psychology of what we're doing, can observe a person and say, okay, here's what they need. Go ahead, Chantel.
And it takes time. It is truly a process. And you have to know the difference. Some people you are not going to be able to be a counselor for. So even I was having a conversation with a young lady that just joined our team, and the situations in her life and family have crushed her so thickly that sometimes you have to be able to be the one to point people to the counselor. Yeah. Okay, because we're not counselors. We love people. We can guide and direct people. And the second thing is, because we've gotten into the spiritual realm here. I'm not your God. I cannot heal your soul. I cannot heal you. I can love you. I can hug you, but I'm going to point you to a system that I know is going to bring you to a better place than what I can do for you.
That's good.
Amen.
Depending on the level they're at, because we are not counselors. And we've been here since 2007. And believe you me, we have learned the difference when to pull out the card and when to shut the card down. And I'm just this person. I'm going to speak from me. When people get really thick and I'm having a conversation, we're doing your game plan and you're going down the list and I'm talking to you about your vision. Why did you come to this company? What do you want to experience here? And your whole list has gone nowhere near anything that this company can do for you. I know where I'm at. Okay. And I don't try to push you over here to say, okay, let's run over here and just nope. I shut it down. I wait on the timing.
It's true.
Okay. There's a coach in us. There's a mentor in us. There's a business partner, but there's also a human being in us. And people are drawn to that human being because we all give love. That's who we are naturally. And a lot of people have come into companies, organizations, and this is why Glenn and I are very serious about knowing the difference, because people can get crushed and they will come to you and say, well, you told me this, so I don't make you any, I do not do that. No, I do not lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I can help you build a foundation of financial legacy for your family if you are ready. I'm not here to be your counselor. I can be a counselor, but I'm not going to be your counselor. Okay, I didn't choose that hat. And when I get ready to put it on, I know how to put it on. But right now, I'm not wearing that hat right now. I am in here because you told me that you needed to earn an extra $1,000 a month. And then he sent me. Okay. So you have to be very careful, because when we get into we got several hats on at the same time, because that's who we are. Be careful with that, because people will look at you and then they will judge your company because of something you told them. Okay. That's why Coach Toma could wear every hat, because he was always in the hat. That's the pastor. He didn't care who you were. Okay. But for me and this guy over here, it's a thin line.
Mm-hmm. Thin line.
And I truly try to teach that to our leaders, because I have seen people get hurt up in companies and they will say, oh, that don't work. It's working because I'm sitting in front of you. It's been working since we got here.
It's true.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? We are the example that this is working.
It's true.
I can't guarantee you, and I really embed this. This is all over my Facebook page. This is everywhere I go. I cannot guarantee you one cent in this company. I cannot guarantee you lifestyle in this company that you've seen in us. That has to come from you. That is your input into your life for what you want to build. I can come along beside you. I can bring you a tool. I can bring you the boat and tell you to get on here and take a cruise. And you look at it and say, "Oh, I don't want to take a cruise." What I thought you said you wanted to take a cruise. I'm just saying, differentiate. Keep a clear vision. Juliet is really good at that. Keep it simple. Know why they came. That's why we got the game plan. And that's why I had to sit up there and write a letter to the company, because I said, we need that game plan back, because that strategy works. It works when we can duplicate a system, because it's simple, right? It may not be easy, but it is simple to duplicate something that everybody in the company is teaching and training and doing. It's very simple to duplicate that for anybody. So that's just something I wanted to share. We love people, and we are going to do our best to walk with you, but I'm not going to try to be anybody that I'm not. Okay. Because we're also in the marketplace, and everybody in the marketplace is not a Christian. Okay. We can come at you any way that you come at us, period, at any hat.
It's true.
And we go between them all the time. We know the difference, right? Everybody in my team is not a Christian. A lot of them are, but everybody's not. So just know when you're talking to people, don't try to make them a Christian because they're in your business. Don't do that. I've seen some great people leave this company because of that. I've seen people leave this company because somebody tried to make them a network marketer, and they were nothing but travel. And they left our company and became a multi-millionaire in travel. Is anybody here? I hope I helped somebody right here today with that. Back to you, Rick and Brent.
I believe it. It's so true. Linda, were you saying something?
No, I was just agreeing.
I believe
definitely agreeing.
Well, it's so true, and it's easy to get sometimes sucked into that that mode of where you're trying to help a person so bad, and they can't even help themselves. But you can't help them until they are willing to help themselves.
Right.
And as you was talking, Chantel, we've all been in that place long enough, being in the business, over 20 years, where we see people and we track their lives, and then usually something will come out that says, okay, that's why they couldn't get involved. That's what they had to get over before they could even do anything. I mean, because you see it, of course, you don't know, and but over the course of time, it reveals itself. So you may talk to someone, they didn't get in the business, and you're like, man, it was so perfect for them. And then give it some time, and then you actually see why they didn't get in the business, or see what hindered them, or see whatever that was. And you just learn from that experience. And it's amazing because you've seen it all. Like you said, we've seen it all. We've heard all the excuses. We've seen all the reasons why, and I'm sure there's still some out there, but we've seen a lot, and we've all grown a lot. And I think that's just a part of being a leader, because now you've got the experiences, that you can always, no matter what somebody presents to you, you can always kind of relate it to your experiences over the last 20 some odd years. I know Mariano's on, and I know Mariano and we go way, Mariano and Glenn go way, 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 way back. But Mariano and I go back to the dial-up days when we were trying to work this business on dial-up.
Thanks.
That is so true. Just when you think you've seen it all, then here comes a new one.
Can you imagine how slow of a process that was compared to now, and how you had to wait for a connection? You had to wait for an upload, a download. Just
like night and day, man. Can you hear me, Rick?
What's that?
You hear me?
I can.
Well, I was going to add a little bit to what Ron was saying, what it is that we provide folks. And I think the infamous words of Coach, he used to always tell us is that what we really provide is hope. In a nutshell, because again, yeah, of course the opportunity's there and all that other, but I mean, it's in so many ways, what we're really providing people is just hope. And that's really the strongest thing that those guys created for us, is to be able to give people that opportunity. They can improve their lives or enjoy life better than what they have. But it's been a great call. Thanks.
All righty. Rick, are you there? Anybody else? Rick? All righty. Well, you know, I love our calls because we always share some great information.
Yeah, that's good,
And yes, thank you for Mariano and everybody who shared, because it's all true. And like I started the conversation by saying, we have the tools. We have the tools. It's all about just finding the right person who's ready to use the tools. And for as long as we've been in this company, like Rick said, we've seen them come and go. We've seen them fly in like they were going to blow it all up and make things and fizzle right on out. And so we've seen them fizzle in and just make everything happen for the good for themselves and their family. So we've seen it
Brenda,
all. We have the tools. Yes, go right ahead.
You know, to finish off what I was saying before, I'll make this quick. After Intel built that complex, which the building, the property is still an asset, you know, the real estate, then guess who moved in and took over? Amazon. Amazon took over, continued to build, hired up a bunch of folks, and then immediately started installing robots. So you are replaced before you even start your first day. You just better know it. You better have a plan B.
Hey,
back to you, Brenda.
I believe that, and Coach talked about way back when, of course, when he was talking about big box stores going away and all that. There is going to be a rush to where we are. You know, there's going to be a stampede to where we are if you just hang in there. If you just learn, become that leader that you're looking for. At some point, everybody, I mean, even back in 2007, 2006, when money was just flowing, you know, $1 million, flowing. That wasn't what we were doing. That was the time that we lived in. You know, a lot of leaders, you know, they thought that was them and they go to other companies and they couldn't duplicate it. But I believe that period is coming again. You know, the rhythm of that period, the cycle of that period is coming again. And what's the beauty of it, back in 2007, you know, we are so much further along today. The people on this call, so much a greater leader today, greater understanding and knowledge and wisdom today, that just like Brenda and I was prepared for that period and hit it, we're all going to be prepared for this period coming up, right? And so it's coming. I think it's here. Just continue to stay focused, continue to look, continue to pray, continue to call forth, and watch what happens. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow. Anybody else? Wow. Great information. Great conversation. I love it. Everybody who shared, I love it. People who are here listening, I'm glad you're here listening. And I even know some folks take notes, and that's always a good thing, because we have the tool. We have everything we need to be successful. You have it within you, and it's all up to you. So you know what I love to say? We are the most trusted travel team in Surge 365. We are winners, no doubt about it. We are winners, and I look forward to seeing everyone on the beaches of the world. So everybody have a great rest of your day. Go out and learn something new, and we'll be talking to you all soon.
Definitely.
All right.
Thanks all.
Okay, bye-bye.